Good day, good day, good day. My name is Yonder. I am standing in as the host for Urban Centennial for my man Reggie. And thank you again, Reggie, for the honor and the privilege. The privilege. Today I have a special guest here. She's a childhood friend, which is funny. She told me she's writing a book and she got in contact with me when she finally did it. Once she did it, she put it out there. I finished my book, and I told her, "Hey, let's talk. Let's get it. Let's get it to everywhere you need to get it out there, and get it to the masses." Since I've been in the industry for roughly 21, 22 years now. My guest is none other than LaDonna Stanley Thompson.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for coming on my show, LaDonna.
It's my pleasure, sir.
Okay, let me give him a little background. I've
Okay.
been knowing LaDonna since we was little.
Yeah.
LaDonna and LaDonna, I know LaDonna's whole family, but me and her brother have been best friends since we went to kindergarten together. That's how long we go back. And LaDonna was his little sister, always messing with us.
Yeah.
LaDonna good and grown now, and she
Yeah.
has a great book out, and it's actually I want you to tell the name of it and tell them what it's about, Donna.
Okay. Thank you. As Yonda was saying, I did reach out to him. First, I was admiring him from afar because I saw that he had written so many books. I reached out to him. I was like, Yonda, can you please mentor me? I want to write a book. And he was like, well, write it. And, we connected later on. I didn't know I was going to get a cancer diagnosis later. I got a cancer diagnosis, and guess what? That pushed me to writing a book, and I literally did it within a year. I collaborated with a few other people that had cancer, and by the grace of God, produced this book that's called, and I have this virtual background, but it's called When Cancer Knocks at Your Door. And you can get it on Amazon. Um, like I said, I collaborated with four other authors: Desiree Waters, Dwayne Perry, Kenyatta. I'm sorry, I'm going in and out with this virtual background. Kenyatta Spencer and Karen Hargrove. And we collaborated and basically just telling our stories. The book is, I'm going to read what's on the back. It's 5 Cancer Survivors, Stories of Courage and Hope. This inspiring book tells the stories of 5 cancer survivors who face their diagnosis head on and emerge victorious. With honesty and vulnerability, they share their experiences, offering hope and encouragement to others going through the same journey. When Cancer Knocks at Your Door is a reminder that even in the face of darkness, there is always light.
I want to commend you on this, Don. And actually, I want everybody who's watching this, if you're watching it, tape it. It'll be online the minute it's over with. But please send this to your cancer survivors. It is possible. This young lady and 6 of her friends wrote a book about it. LaDonna, not to get too personal, what type of cancer did you have?
So I had endometrial cancer. That's cancer that is within the uterus.
Okay. And you're completely recovered as of now?
As the oncologists say, I am free of cancer. They was able to get all of it through surgery.
Okay, I ain't gonna say knock on wood. I'm gonna say give God all the glory.
It's
Girl,
all
come on,
God
come
gets.
on, come
God
on.
gets all of
All
the
the glory,
glory.
all
All of
of
the
the glory.
glory.
I
Yes.
appreciate you coming on here sharing your story because there's so many of us who are going through this, and not just the person, but the whole family goes through this. And I know you're married,
Yes.
and I know you have a child. How does this affect the family?
Oh wow. We've never been through anything like this. To be honest with you, I'm a heavy woman. I've been full figure all my life since I was a child, but I've never been sick, never had to deal with any type of illness outside of hypertension. I've been pretty healthy. And so to get this type of diagnosis, it shook my world. It shook my world. But because of the faith that I have in God, I was like, God, you're going to have to carry me through it. And that's exactly what he did. I was in a very peaceful, serene state. That is how I was able to even write the book, because at that point I was just not knowing what the diagnosis was before the surgery, because they said they would not be able to tell me the stage until they actually went in. And just hearing that and waiting and all of the anxiety, I was like, God, I don't want to feel like this. I don't, I want to trust you. And so in telling my son, he was, appeared to be okay, but he wasn't. Um,
Mhm.
it came out, all of it really came out surgery day. When the surgery went a little longer than
Mhm.
expected, he freaked out. He freaked out
Mhm.
because, again, he never saw his mother sick. I've never, had any type of hospital stays, nothing. And so that's when he had his breakdown. My husband, supportive at every single doctor's appointment that I had to go to. He was the one encouraging me, babe, you're going to be okay. It's going to be all right. He was really my encourager, took care of me after I had my surgery. But just walking through it, thank God for my sister and one of her best friends, Lady Brown, also a really close friend of mine, and sister in Christ, Lasanji Holman, and one of my good friends, Carla Thomas. They were some of my biggest support systems, and other family and friends as well, but those were the closer ones. But to answer your question, or to come back around, just to say, we were able to look at it differently because God worked a miracle where I didn't have to go through any treatments. I didn't have to stay in the hospital. It was an in and out procedure. And we got closer. Actually, we got closer. At first, me and my son, we were having some issues. My son is 27, by the way. So at
Mhm.
that time he was like 25, but we were having some relationship issue. My son used to be my best friend, but we was having some relationship issues with him, just trying to do life and trying to grow. Um, and this, at first we were kind of apart, but I realized that it was the emotional strain that he had. And when I say that he loves on me even more, it's that kind of love that, okay, that's enough. It's that much, like, Mom, I love you. I mean, talk to me. He used to talk to me one time a day. Now I get about 5 or 6 or 7 calls a day, and it's a whole different outlook on life. In every aspect of my life is totally different. It's
Mm.
totally different.
I
Yeah.
understand your son with not wanting to lose his mama. We, for those who have lost their mama, I put on Facebook today. I wish I could just talk to her on the phone. So
Yeah.
I understand. And he was like, as you go through your teen years, your early 20s, you're on your own in your own mind. I don't need them, but they sick. Oh no, what you doing sick? You ain't know. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand that young fella.
Yeah.
He was
That-
like that because your mama, your number one girl. There's no.
yeah.
You get married 10 times, you have 700 girlfriends. Your mama, your number one girl. Point
Yeah.
blank.
Yeah.
Don't you mess with my mama? Yeah. So woof. And your husband was your road dog, bringing you to
Always.
surgery and making sure he take care of you. That's love.
That's love.
That's
That's
love.
love. He's
Tell,
proven himself time after time after
Tell my
time.
man Tony I said, hey, nothing but respect and love as usual.
I will.
But that's
Thank you.
that's love. That is love. I want to go deeper into this. Okay, when you first got diagnosed,
Hmm.
what was your outlook? I know you're a praying woman, you're a saved woman. Y'all been in church since I was little, so I know you and Jesus been friends for forever. So, how did you go with? Was you mad at God? I mean, because as you go through stuff, I'm gonna give you a personal story. When my mother passed away. I was mad at. Her. I'm like, Lord, I'm a paraphrase my older brother. My brother, my to this day, my older brother would say, "Why he take my? He could have took them. He could took the crackhead. He could have took them." I was mad too. I ain't want to admit it. But I was mad at him. I was mad.
Right.
Come on, you could have took all Boo Boo Man, all them jokers who ain't living right. Mom
Right.
is our own angel. How did you feel about God at that time? I know you got your strength on him, but how'd you was you did you have a conversation? If you did have a conversation, what was that conversation?
I did have a conversation with them, and to be honest with you, I wasn't mad.
Okay.
I had already resolved that, okay, you have been more than faithful to me. If
Mm-hmm.
this is
Come
the
on.
way I'm going out, I'm going out this way. I had already resolved my husband and son, they'll be fine. I got insurance. They'll, they'll figure it out. I said, if this is it, then this is it. But I was not mad at him at all. I was very, very grateful just to have been able to live more than more than 50 years. So
Okay, okay. Okay, and this is nothing that's in your family. There's no line of having cancer in your family, right?
well, not in my immediate family, but
Mm-hmm.
in my aunties and uncles, yes, I do have family members that have cancer, and that was one of the things that I had to actually write down filling out paperwork, that these type of questions were asked. Who in your family has cancer, outside of your parents, outside of your siblings, and to write down those things. And I was remembering different ones who had it. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh wow. And so because of that, I had to go through, and I still am going through more testing because of the gene that you
Okay.
carry.
Hey, I had a quick question for you. I was listening to the conversation, and all along those lines, Yonder knows I pop in, as does Reggie, and everything like that. But one of the things I was curious about is, what advice would you give to folks that are going through those situations and going through grief? I had a friend of mine that actually hosts one of the shows here on the network that just recently lost their son to a heat wave, and they're going through grief counseling as a family and all along those lines. But I was just wondering, as one that has had to deal with your own uh, health journeys and your own grief in that sense, what advice would you give to folks that are going through whatever the grief may be?
So the advice that I would give, and this is me personally, because I am a woman of faith, and that is the only way that I know that I've survived this thing. I am a woman of faith, but I also believe that you should also have people that you can talk to, because we are human as well. As a matter of fact, I just started a session with a therapist, because although I am free of cancer, I am still under the oncologist's care for the next 4 years. And there are a
Mm-hmm.
whole bunch of testings that occur. And because I'm human, I can't always talk to my husband. I can't always talk to my son, my friend. I need a person that is unbiased. And, most people see me as strong because I put on that face. But I have cancer. Cancer has entered my body. Cancer is a beast. You don't know what's going to happen next. So, my advice would be for them to make sure that they have someone that they can confide in, that they can be real and honest with, and express how they truly feel, because it's a lot to carry.
Yeah, just really quick, and then we'll turn it back over to Yonder and everything like that. I've got a dear friend that is a breast cancer survivor. She survived it for a number of years. I think she's like in multiple years remission. I want to say it might be even in the neighborhood of like 7 or 8 years, but I'd have to check with
Oh.
my friend Sharon and all along those lines. And she actually had mastectomy, I think double mastectomy, if I remember correctly, and all along those lines. But I was just wondering, for those, because I know Yonder talks about relationships in his book and everything that are, because you've got the support of a husband, and I know that as far as I know, she's got the support of a family, but she has always been a single woman, and all along those lines, I can't remember. Well, she might have been married at one point and everything, but I know she doesn't have a significant other as of now that I'm aware of. What advice would you give to folks that are going through these kind of ordeals and don't have a like a family structure in the sense of a husband or I think both of her parents are passed as well. So, what would you give? What advice would you give to those folks that are struggling and fighting this in that alone space, for lack of a better term?
That's a great question. So the same kind of the same advice I would give to someone that I am mentoring that is having trouble, and that is to find a support system.
Right.
Just because you don't have a family, it doesn't mean that you cannot find a family. So there are all kinds of support systems that the Cancer Society actually offers, and when they go to their treatments, they should ask their doctor, hey, I would like to talk to a social worker because I'm having issues. I need a support group. So talk to their social worker. Take advantage of all of the resources that your doctor and anybody in the medical field that you are dealing with, all of the resources that they have, take advantage of them because they do help. You need it all. You need it all.
Well, I appreciate it. So I'm gonna turn it back over to you and Yonder. But I just know as I was listening to those questions cross my mind, so I thought I'd pop in and ask really quickly. But I'll turn it back over.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so. Yeah, Mark's good. I love Mark's. He always has a different insight, which is always ask questions that I don't have written down.
Yes.
I love that part about, like you said, a support system. And you say you go to therapy your own. I believe in therapy. I have a therapist of my own too. I'm working on a program. I just go every week now, and I like to every month now, so I'm getting better. But I
Yeah.
believe that you need someone to talk to, and it's just
Yes.
life is hard.
Yeah.
And from childhood to adulthood to workhood to relationships to whatever you're going through, sometimes there's no one else. You just need somebody. Sometimes you need somebody to talk to. You need somebody just to listen to you sometimes. So I
Yes. Yeah.
understand that because no one knows your journey but you.
Yeah. It's true.
That is so true. That is great, Don. Okay, the other folks that are in your book with you and your
Mhm.
anthology with you,
Yes.
um, do they have different types of cancer, or all you guys had the
Yes.
same thing? Okay, cool.
They
Okay,
do. They have different types. So, two of us had the same type, the uterine cancer, and then another two had breast cancer, and then we have one male. It's not prostate. I always get it. I can't remember the name of it. It begins with an L, but he has that form of cancer.
okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah. So we.
Later on in the year, I'm going to get you all on the show together because I would love to hear. Um, I would like to have basically a cancer panel to find
Yes.
out how you all and the interactions you guys. I think folks would love to see the interaction that you guys
Oh,
have, the
we would
love
love.
and the
We would
support you
love to.
guys have for each other. Because just talking to you about your book and about cancer, even before we had this interview, you always talking about. You say this person, you'll name people. You say, hey, this one. I had an issue with. I had a friend of mine who has cancer, and you said, hey, I'm gonna give. And actually, I did hook them two up too. So that's a good thing. It's people don't realize what they need until they need it. You don't walk around and say, I'm just gonna get cancer. When you get cancer, you need somebody. You need that crew that can talk about it when things just ain't going right, when stuff ain't feeling good, where whatever's going on with you that used to didn't bother you, from your lips being too dry or your mouth being dry or whatever, that chemo, whatever is going bad in the body that usually doesn't go to bad, you don't have anybody to talk to that about. They need that person because you can say, hey, my lips are too dry, or this is going on, my feet, my toes big, or whatever. That means something. That means nothing to somebody who doesn't have cancer.
Yes.
They be saying put some Vaseline on it or something. You be like, no. I'm just being
Oh
honest.
Lord.
If you don't have it, you don't know what to say, and then that sometimes the only they can do is, and some of them they can just listen. But if
Yeah.
you have somebody to say, "Girl, I had look, okay, you're gonna be at this place right now at number one, and eventually gonna get to 10, and then it's gonna get back down to 5, and you're gonna be able to bear it at 4, and you be like, 4 is your best. You be like, all right, but if you don't have anybody to tell you, you got one, you got to get to the 10 level of hurt,
Yeah.
and 4 is your average now. You be like, but no one tells you that. And then when it happened, you think you dying. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
I done died and came back. or or you calling 911 or calling somebody who doesn't understand it, and they, like I said, they rubbing baby oil on your stomach or something. They doing something that has nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? They they doing something that has nothing to do with what's going on for real.
Right.
And but
Right.
they trying to be helpful because they're your mate, or your cousin or whoever is your child. They just
Right.
trying to make mommy feel better when they were sick. Mommy put baby oil on them or Vicks or what. They
Yeah.
trying to do the human thing and they don't know anything about the cancer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Sure.
so that is so deep. Um, and I know you said when you go to your doctor, get all those support groups to
Yeah.
help you, and and get counseling and everything because you need a team of people to help you. Basically, that's what you're telling
Yes. Yes, you do. In every area of your life, especially for me, I was still working. Although I took 6 weeks off because the surgery allowed me to be off for 6 weeks. And after that, I went back to work. I didn't physically go in the office. I was fortunate enough to stay home
me.
and
Okay.
work from home, but my life started back. I had to start back getting into the groove of things, and the healing process, it was actually beautiful. It was so I'll share with you when I had to have the surgery. I had to get the house ready and get my bedroom ready and everything, and I was like, oh my God, this is the first time I've been able to spend time in my bedroom the way I am going to be spending time in my
Right.
bedroom, because
Right.
we grind. Me and my husband, we grind. Our schedules are so hectic that we're passing a lot of times in the night.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But and I have a pretty nice bedroom because we just moved in a house 5 years ago. So I was able to kind of enjoy some things on that downtime of healing. So it was the process of going from healing and then going to normal because you're still healing,
Right.
but you're healing, it's an inside out healing
Mm-hmm.
that
Right.
has to occur. And getting back into the grind of things. Some people at my church said, I couldn't even tell you were sick. Even though I was out of church for about 3 or 4 months, when I came back still doing my same positions because that's what I was used to.
Mm-hmm.
And my body was, mostly healed from inside out. It takes about a whole year for it to completely heal. But for the most part, I had gotten clearance from my doctor to resume certain activities that I was had already done in the past. So yeah, it's the journey is still continuing. I'm still on the journey, even though you may see me sitting up here talking and smiling and all of that. It's the journey is continuous. It's continuous.
Okay, well, I did write down a couple of questions. You already answered them all for real. Okay, we're not leaving yet, but I always tell people share your social media because that's the last thing people do. But I need people to find LaDonna Stanley Thompson right now so they can get her book, they can get on Amazon stuff. They can, because folks need what you have. That you have a service. It's a service that folks need. Your book tells folks, and actually as I say this, as I actually for your social media, I want you to give folks some encouragement after you give me social media.
Okay. All right. So my social media is I only have one. I had an Instagram account, but it got hacked and I don't really do Instagram. But Facebook is my social media and it's under LaDonna Stanley hyphen Thompson. And that is my Facebook account. And if you want to reach out to me, send me a message. If you're interested in a book, just let me know. I can mail the book to you, or you can go on Amazon and order it. And
Show
if
the
you
book
do,
again and tell them the name of it.
yes, and if you do go on Amazon and order it, please leave 5 stars for us for the review. We don't have any reviews, but we have a lot of people who's ordered the book, and that's the one thing I have not done. But this is the book, When Cancer Knocks at Your Door, and I'm holding it down like this because of the virtual. Can you see it? See it going in and out.
It's
When
going in and
Cancer
out.
Knocks at Your Door. Yeah, visionary author LaDonna Stanley Thompson. Yeah,
When you get a chance, take a picture of it and tag me on my page. I'll flood it out all the next couple of weeks.
I sure will. There is another thing I wanted to talk about in the book when you were talking about my son and how it affected him. My son is a poet. And when I was thinking about the book, the one thing I knew that I was going to do, I asked him to write a poem,
Mm-hmm.
spoken word. And in the book, it's actually he did a he did the spoken word, he wrote the poem, and it's actually a QR code in here. It's a QR code. I wish, let me see. There we go. It's a QR code in there, and when you press on that QR code, he actually went in the studio so you can hear the audio.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if we have time or if I'm able to do it now for you to hear it, but it's a very, very powerful poem, and it he tried to write it. He wrote it in the perspective of how people can feel how someone with cancer feels.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's a very, very powerful poem. You can hear it audibly, but it's also written in here. But it's something about hearing spoken word, you know. And so
If you
this is
tag me and I'll put it out when I put your video out tomorrow
okay.
this evening tomorrow morning, I'll put it out there with it.
Awesome.
Okay, so
Well,
he does. So you say he did it audio, so he does spoken word then.
he does spoken word. He's
Yes,
been writing since he was a child. He is a phenomenal. He's working on a book of poems,
good.
spoken word. He's won several oratorical competitions. He's very humble. He doesn't like for me to push him out there like that, but he's always been amazing to me. I know every parent think their child is amazing, but he really is amazing. He really is an amazing man.
Okay,
And so you
tell him his uncle gonna push him out of there.
okay, push him out there, push him out there.
I have a good friend of mine who my doctor introduced me to years ago, who lives in Carolina now. Young
Hmm.
guy. The doctor knew I wrote books, and he asked me if it was okay to give him my information. And his name is William Thoughts. He's in North Carolina now, even North Carolina,
Okay.
South Carolina.
Okay.
And I think William was on his third book. He's out there, and he was like, man. So I always check when he first bought his book. When he did his first book, I came to my house and I was like, dude, we done. How you need to get this out there? And he's in Carolina now. He's doing all sorts of spoken word thing. He put it to music, and I was like, just keep the biggest thing with the young folks is, and I say this all the time, the encouragement comes for other things, but not for what they want to do. We have to
Hmm.
encourage. If that's what you're doing, oh, I got you. Let's
Yeah.
run with it.
Yeah.
Let's run with it because they
That's
got the
right.
social media down. They just need to know what's sensible to put on it.
It's so true. It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, tell him his uncle got him. Tell him I got him. You
Push
give
him
my
out
phone
there.
number and information. It's a done deal. We're gonna put these books out here, and I'll hook them up with the young. I know a whole lot of great poets also. One of my
Okay.
good friends, Lamont Curry, works for the district government now. But just folks who in that industry, and even down in one of my mentor name is Kwame Alexander.
Okay.
Uh, just some of my mentors. I know some great poets, so I can put them in contact with some great poets.
Okay.
Speaking of
Okay.
which, I work at a cultural arts center. That's why I came back on and everything. So the Hayti Heritage Center, we actually have our poetry slam. They do it the third Saturday of every month, and then they usually during the summer they do specialty slams. So they just did 2 months of paper thin, which means that the contestants could read from paper and all along those lines, which isn't usual during a slam, and they were given a little bit longer time. But Dasana Hunu, who is a master poet and everything like that, it's his team, and the team is 20 years old, and they go down to Southern Fried and a number of other competitions as well. So I'd
Oh
like to get
wow.
more information, and maybe he can get
Please,
my
please
parents
give me that
down there
information. Because
Yes,
I'm
yes.
because
yes,
that might be something he'd be interested in checking out. I was just curious because I know y'all still got about another 20, 30 minutes if you need it because the whole show can go anywhere up to an hour and all along those lines. But what advice would you give? Because you mentioned your husband and how much support he has been to you. And we keep hearing statistics about divorce in America and people getting away from the church and all along those lines. But I just wanted your thoughts around the importance of communication and also what we can do to get more people to stay together, particularly if they're meant to be together, because we always are hearing statistics about divorce, but it sounds like you are a proud couple and a couple that is proud to be unified and to have that yoke conversation that we hear about in religion and all along those lines. So I was just wondering your thoughts around what we can do to keep more people together. Because, like I said, every time you turn around, there's more of these statistics about how the rate of divorce is so high in America.
Wow. So that's a whole episode that I can do, because our story is so very unique. We actually met when we were 4 years old. We were next door neighbors. And
Oh,
so we were boyfriend and girlfriend at the age of 7. Um, but we played around with that as boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever. And uh, we were not really a couple because he moved to South Carolina and I was doing my own thing in DC, and then but we always stayed in touch because we were best friends.
right.
He came back home and I got pregnant by him, had a baby by him, and when my son turned 2, we broke up. When we broke up, there was someone waiting in the wind for him and scooped them up. Uh, they ended up 7 years later getting married. And then 3 years after that, got a divorce. However, in between that time, he was a present father, always present. I never had to worry about money. I never had to go to the courts. He is just a stand-up guy. That's just how his grandmother raised him. And so we actually, when my son turned 18, we reconnected. And here we are, 7 years into marriage. It was a complete circle. We remained friends the entire time during, his marriage, me raising my son as a single mother, but a present father there. Um, we remained friends. And that is why I have the support that I have, because he is my best friend, my best friend. Is everything peachy and creams? Of course not. We argue like sister and brother, and then we laugh at the end, because neither one of us are going anywhere. We're like, divorce is not an option. Just, say what you got to say to me and get over it. And I'll say what I have to say. But he's not that type of person. He really is very respectful. I have never, in my 56 years, met anyone that treats me like a queen. He treats me like a queen.
Wow.
And I will honor him until the day I die.
That's amazing, everything. And this is for both you and Yonder, because I heard an interesting conversation. I've had some friends of mine that are younger. You mentioned your son being younger, and all along those lines, being, I guess, in his 20s. But I'm hearing a lot of women, I'd say probably in their 30s and 40s, that are frustrated by the man in their own age range. And a lot of them are trying to go after and trying to pursue gentlemen that are older, and in some cases, much older, like in some cases double their age and everything like that. So I just wanted your take on this, because it does seem like this is a new trend, and I know that there's always been conversations around sugar daddies. I know you even wrote about it in your books, Yonder, and
Yeah.
everything like that. But there's definitely seems to be this push by some of the younger women to go after older men, because they say they're frustrated by the games that the older man, I mean, that the younger man play, and their lack of ambition, and a couple of other things that they complained about. But I just wanted your take on this, because it's something that I've heard a number of people. It's not just black. I've heard it from black, white. I've even heard it from a couple of my Latin friends.
Yeah, so me as a woman, and I would circle back to me even being young. I was actually the one that made the mistake. I was the immature one in the relationship. He and I were the same age. He had proposed to me, and I kind of gave him an ultimatum. I don't know what I was going through, but he was actually the mature one in the relationship, and I was the immature one. I've never looked for an older man, because even when I think about men to this day, just because they're older, it doesn't mean they're more mature. I've seen a lot of immature older men. So I think that I would just say, this is me personally. If the person is meant to be with you, that is who you're going to get. If they're your forever, your soulmate. I think that it's a rare thing. And this is what my big sister told me. it's rare to find your soulmate.
Mm.
It's rare. Um, and I just was blessed. I was just blessed. And so I don't know how to necessarily answer or speak on that what the younger people are doing, but I just know how I came out on top.
Well, if you
He
can,
never stopped chasing me.
She
He
coming back.
never stopped chasing me.
I
well,
don't think it's rare to find your soulmate. The thing about I think soulmates is in one or the other mind or both of their minds is they think this perfect. This person's gonna be perfect. They think that everything is gonna be perfect, and that's not true. That's not a
That's true.
soulmate. That's a fool on
That's
one or the
true.
other side. I mean, there's gonna be issues along the way, and you got to work them out and deal with. But I
Yes.
think people have found their soulmates, but they think their version of a soulmate is someone who agrees to everything they do and say, they're that the mate is never wrong on either side. And I think that's a foolish analogy, mentality, because none of us is a
along
Jesus.
the
We're all humans. We're all
yeah, but
humans. So
yeah,
yeah.
along those same lines, I've heard a lot of people that have, and I don't know if Ladonna is what her experience was because you mentioned she found her soulmate, her husband that is now with, and everything when they were 4 years old. And I've heard a number of people that literally have said that they dreamt or that they kind of like prayed on what they wanted and they saw it in a vision and all along those lines. Because I remember that even one of my good friends. Unfortunately, they were married for a number of years. They're now divorced. But when Brett met his wife, and he's only been married once so far, even though he's engaged in a relationship now and everything, and who knows where that'll lead. But when he met his first wife, they were at I want to say a party or a club gathering, and she basically told her girlfriends, "That's going to be my husband," because she had had that kind of vision that that was
Mhm.
going to be when she first saw the man walk through the door, and they just had like that chemistry, and they had not talked to each other. He's from, ironically, y'all's neck of the woods around the DC area, but he teaches over at one of our HBCUs. But I do
Okay.
remember, and I think that she was in the job in the park, or what we call the research center park, which means she might have been at either IBM or Glaxo or something like that. But I just remember that story very vividly that because I
Right.
wasn't at that particular party, but I do remember that I heard it from both her and him that as soon as he walked in the door, and he's a tall, kind of balding man about my complexion and everything, she was like,
Mhm.
"That's my husband," and she just automatically started stating it and claiming it when she
Yeah.
saw that. And I've heard some people, even recently, I've heard a couple people that have told me that they had visions of who their husband will be, and all along those lines. So it can be a divine thing or not. But I just wanted y'all's take because I know sometimes people are wishing so hard that they wanted that maybe they're wishing too hard. But I just wanted y'all's
I think so. And that's funny that you say that because the man, the type of man that I dreamed of is not the image that my husband is.
gotcha.
Totally different. Even though I got a tall, fine man, how strong and all that good stuff, but that wasn't the image that I had. He's not, but he's perfect for me.
Mhm. And I think that's our problem. We have our own image of what we want, and my thing is we need to be on that same page. I mean, like, of course, we have this image of okay. I mean, of course, back in the day, oh, I seen a plenty of them. I thought it was gonna be my wife, but it wasn't. It wasn't what I really needed. I got what I need. Who I married now, so
Yeah,
it was what I wanted, but not what I needed. Because
But
sometimes the one thing, you can want that, and that just look good. That just look good in the mirror. It don't look
yeah,
good. It don't do nothing with finance. It don't want to work. Da da da. Baby mama drama. A whole lot of nonsense that's attached to as you watch folks on social media. Whole lot of nonsense attached to this. But
yeah.
when you get who you, like you said, you got who you want, Tony. You got, like I said, he was always what you want. You just didn't know it, and
I
that's what I'm
know.
saying. That's what it is. I think that's the problem with society now. We going looking for this thing, but also you got to be half of that yourself, and that's what it is.
Exactly.
I want him to do this. He gonna have to make this much money. We got to live here. We got to drive this car. Da 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 da. Okay, what are you? Besides pretty with a big butt. I mean, come
Oh
on.
wow.
I mean, come on. Let's be honest. What are you? I mean,
Right.
what do you bring to the table? Okay. Are you loving? Are you passionate? I mean, do you have compassion? You have empathy. You have sympathy. What are you? I mean, and it's on both sides. The man could just be just fine. He pretty Ricky, what they call him.
Mhm.
But pretty Ricky want to be pretty all the time. He
All
don't want to
right.
work. He don't want to do this. You follow?
Right.
So it can be
Yeah.
both sides of it. Like I said, I think that whole thing. Well, it has to be both of y'all. I mean, both of y'all got to be okay. If both of y'all not tens, both of y'all got to be fives.
Right.
You gonna keep on striving to be God's best, but you can't be a five and they zero times they zero five times.
Yeah.
That's my spill on it, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. It's like you said, there's all kinds of different scenarios. Because, like I said, I think that that same gentleman that I was talking about, who was his wife, told him that that was who he was going to be with. I want to say that he's with a. They're in the same field because they're both in the arts and everything like that. Because he is a performer and all along those lines. And I want to say that his current lady love is probably about a 15 or 20-year gap. But whenever I see them out and about, they seem like they've got a deep love and all along those lines. And it doesn't seem like a father daughter relationship. Now, I know that there are some couples out there that you see that look more father daughter like and even come off as father daughter like and everything like that. So you got to be
Yeah.
careful about that. But it seems
Yeah,
like they are authentic. So I think you can have a difference in race, a different, I would even argue, in religion. Because I've got a dear friend of mine that is very much Christian, but her husband, and I think they're still married from what I remember, is a Muslim American and all along those lines. But they've been together for a while, and they just agreed to support each other's faith walk.
right.
'Cause they will go to each
Hmm.
Yeah.
other's church and all along those lines, even
Right.
though they are of different faiths. So, like I said, the Muslim brother would go to her Christian church, and she would go to his mosque, and all along those lines. So they will
Yeah.
support each other and everything like that. But I was just wondering, because both of you are religious people, do you think that folks of different faiths can get along?
Oh, definitely. For
Oh,
sure.
definitely.
I
I think
do.
so.
Yes, for sure.
I think so. I mean, I've never dated anybody of different religious faith, but I dated folks with no religion. So
Yeah, and I have friends of different religions, and I get along very well with them. People are people, and their opinion of their God is their opinion.
it's their opinion.
I'm not saying I would marry someone outside of my religion. That would not be my preference. I think for me, it would be a conflict. However, I can get along very well as a friend.
Right.
Yes.
It makes sense. And like I said, I think that they were surprised that they married each other. And ironically, and Yonder doesn't even know this, but I interviewed a woman. Actually, I think I got her book around here. And it's a book about religion. It's a white woman. I think she's on the West Coast, if I remember correctly. But she was talking about her near death experiences and all along those lines. And she was even talking about how she asked for a rainbow and she got the rainbow. And then after she got that rainbow, she was not 100% sure that it was God sent. So God sent her another rainbow, and that's what she said in the story was that God made sure that he knew that she knew it was from her and everything. And then another story that she told was how and this apparently happened. I want to say in the West Coast as well because I think that's where she's from and everything. Nancy Fretka is her name and everything. But she also talked about how literally she had to stop her car because she saw the word God spelled out in the clouds and everything like that. So that was like a direct message. And apparently other people were traveling that same road and they all stopped because they all saw that
Oh,
same
wow.
cloud message and
Mm.
everything like that. So it wasn't just a message that was only her interpretation, but apparently it was something that other people saw in the skies as well. So you got to pay attention to those signals that you may get from
Yeah.
the Most High
Well,
and everything like that. Because I think one of the things that well, not her, but another person I interviewed said that when they went up to heaven, they found a very unique heaven. They found a heaven that was, I think Nancy disagreed with this, but they found a heaven where there were people of all the different nationalities and religions up there. So none of us will know until we actually get to that part of our journey and all along
Okay.
those lines. But there might be some folks up there going like, wait a minute, I thought it was only my way or the highway. Or there might be
Yeah.
folks
Yeah.
right,
up there
right.
that are
That's
going
true.
like,
That's
I
true.
did not think he was going to be here. I
Yeah.
remember what he did when he was on the earth and
That's right.
everything, not realizing that
I agree
we
with
live a
that.
life journey and God is looking at the whole life book.
That's it. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna turn that back over to y'all. Y'all still got another about 15 or 20 minutes and all along those lines, but
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Hey, LaDonna, what I want to ask you about, I know you have a 501c. Tell me about it. Well,
Yes, I
tell the
have.
audience about it. I'm sorry. Tell me about
Okay,
it.
no problem. Yes, I do have a 501(c)(3, and that's called the Stanley House of Love. Love stands for Life Opportunity Vision Experience. And this organization was actually started in memory of my mother. We've been in existence. Actually, we started doing our first event back in 2008, which was called
Hmm.
a Brunch of Sunbeams, where we gathered children, brought them together to showcase their talents and to bring awareness to their gifts, the gifts that they actually possess in the form of arts. And they and gave them scholarships. And so, fast forward, we actually got our 501(c)(3 in 2014. So, we just celebrated our 13th annual scholarship event 2 weeks ago. We gave out 11 scholarships ranging from 500 to $2,000. So
Great,
this was
great.
really an amazing one this year. It was a complete circle with this event, because one of the keynote speaker, Dr. Matherine Zama City, she spoke, and she was one of our 2016 scholarship recipients.
Oh, get
When
out
I
of here.
tell
Full
you,
circle.
yeah, a full circle. When I tell you the event was just so emotional, it was so encouraging. It was just absolutely amazing. When you're doing a nonprofit, because that's what it is a nonprofit. You're investing yourself, not gaining any financial money from it. You're investing everything, and it can be laborious. And to see the fruit of the labor, our, our family has been investing all this time, and just seeing the fruit of your labor and it's still standing is absolutely amazing. One of my mentors told me, if you have a nonprofit and it is in existence for more than 5 years, you're already successful,
That's
because
so
most
true.
of the nonprofits, they fail
They fail,
within the
yep,
first
for lack
five
of
years.
funding. Hmm.
And so that was really encouraging for me. Um, Also, this year we got the largest one-time donation, financial donation that we've ever gotten. We have never received any type of grants. We get our money solely from donations. And
Hmm.
so this year we received the largest financial grant, which was $5,000 from one person.
Hmm.
And that was a miracle from God for me, because I was very concerned about if we were going to even have a scholarship program this year, because of all what is going on in the world right now with all of the different policies, many people losing their jobs. I really did not see how it was going to happen, but God put something on someone's heart and allowed that person, and they want to remain anonymous, but allowed that person to write a $5,000 check to our organization to take care of the scholarship recipient. So,
Oh, that is really great. I used to work for a 501c recently, and
mhm,
I'll forward you some of the emails I have for. There are a whole lot of groups that are giving out money. We just don't know who they are. And
yes,
it's a young lady who looks just like us, who teaches grant courses and everything,
okay,
and tell you where they are and everything. And she does like an online thing for free, and the rest of the
okay,
stuff you want to pay for. But all the stuff she got free is really good stuff. So you can taper and get all your stuff, but really good stuff. I'll start for you. I get emails every day about grants and stuff. And then another thing, which most folks don't realize, is I say this all the time, by doing grants and stuff and doing
mhm,
501c. Every place in your city has a grant or scholarship money. It could be $500. You get five
yeah,
hundred dollars from 100 people. You didn't got some money, and you guys in the DMV. So you got Safeway got one, Giant got one, Foot Locker got one, McDonald's got one, Geno's got Giant got one. Everybody has one, and they'll give up the $500 with no problem.
right.
It's when you want those $25,000, but they'll do the 500. If you get 500 from enough people, y'all
You got
good. And you
That's
already
so
got your
true.
mission statement. You already certified by the government, you 501c. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a whole slew of folks. I tell you, as you go down the street from, I'm dating myself. I'm saying from Sears to Macy's, but heck to Macy's, everyone has a charity foundation that they give money to every big corporation.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do is platform. And they might not, you can say I want, and you can put down which program is. You might say I want 2,500. They say we're gonna give you five. If everybody give a sister five times 10 or times 20 or times 30 or times 40, y'all okay.
Yeah. It's
And
true.
then the next year, they'll see what you've done. You say these people graduated or these people go to these schools, but da 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 da. Okay, next year we can ask for five, and they gave you 500 first time. They can give you 2,500 this time. So you get 10 people, give you $2,500. That's 10,000. That's 25,000. So I'll forward you the information, any information I get. But I say, but everybody, you got everybody in your area right there, and Safeway, everybody, and then most of these professional athletes have a 501c. They got so.
Hmm.
Your husband, basketball, football fan. Hey, who?
Yes, he is.
It wouldn't even got to be the big names of them. You ain't got to do the LeBron James. You hear about the little guy who gave up all his money.
Yeah.
If it's somebody you don't even know, you ain't he don't even play.
Yeah.
It ain't the guy. It's
It's
somebody you ain't
true.
never heard of. Like, what's his
Right.
name? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and also just to piggyback off of we just got approved for CFC. That's the
Oh, cool. Oh,
combined
I know
federal
about that.
campaign. We just got approved. This is something that we have been wanting to do for years. My sister, Deneen Stanley, she was able to do the paperwork because, having a nonprofit and having a full-time job, like
Yeah.
the nonprofit is a full-time job.
It is. It
The
is.
my mentor who I had 15 years ago told me it was going to be impossible for me to do it. Here we are 13 years later going strong, but it is a lot of work. However, we did get that CFC approval this year. So if anyone is working for the federal government and they want to donate to the charity, we are in there now. Stanley House of Love is one of the charities in CFC.
And I know everybody's still remote now, but if you're not remote or they have anybody do it, I used to do CFC for one of my federal agencies, and we got more money than most people because I was a product of it. I used to
Yeah,
I was I was 17, 18 years old, and it's a place called the Sasha Bruce House.
I
Sasha
heard of
Bruce
that. Yes.
actually gave what's so funny. Their mission wasn't what I was. They actually take care of homeless kids. But part of the mission was to make sure folks could get back and forth to work. They gave us tokens and stuff. And
Okay.
to this day, when I was still a govy, oh, Sasha Bruce got my money every year. Every year,
Wow.
Sasha Bruce got my money. I mean, really, I was
Yeah.
like, and then my one of my supervisors it was a joke to her, but she didn't understand how much passion was to me. When I got there and gave that speech about how they helped me as a youth and give me tokens and subway
Yeah.
passes, get back and forth, man, my agency, I was at Department of Treasury now. My agency took in more money than all the treasury agencies together at that time.
Wow.
From me doing that speech in that room, it got to everybody. This is before social media. Everybody was like, Ronnie's part of Social Roots, da da da. They didn't even know what the real mission was. The real mission was to help
Yeah.
homeless kids. Yeah, they didn't, but they knew that they helped me, and they was like, Ronnie, boom. I mean, we raked in the money for Social Roots that year.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
but definitely, yeah,
awesome.
but that CFC people don't understand.
They don't
If you
understand how it helps so many charities, and so it's yeah, over 5,000 charities for this local area. Yeah.
And if everybody, okay, you got, like I said, look, I'm a little number man. Okay, you got, okay, 5,000 charities, but you got 400,000 government employees. Everybody
Mhm.
gave me $10 every 2 weeks. That's $20 a month times
Hey,
400,000. I mean, you know what I'm
Jesus.
saying? That's
Jesus, bring it, bring the money, Jesus.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. People, that right there, and that's people, like you said, it's only 5,000 y'all. So think of how many 501Cs there is that never even, don't even know what CFC Combined Federal Campaign. They don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
And you're a part of that, and you have government friends who, man, y'all ain't gotta give me no
yeah,
money. Go on, put that on your tax thing and just
yeah.
give me $10 a month. All of y'all.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
really, that's a
Or
that's a
that
great
one-time
move.
donation. It could be a one-time
One time,
donation.
give me
That's it.
$100. Give me $100. Boom.
Yeah.
You write it off on your taxes. And people don't
Yes.
understand that because
Yes.
with having a nonprofit, the sad
Yeah.
part about it is they don't want to give you the money.
Right. And we don't get the
No,
money
no,
come
they
to
think
us
they're
and
giving
it
it to
literally
you.
goes straight
They
out.
think they're
Yeah.
giving it to you,
They
but
think
they'll give
so.
it to your foundation. They don't want
Yes.
you know
That's
how
it.
folks look like us do. Oh, what's she getting this money for? No, no, it's not going
Right.
to me. I'm sending people to school. I'm buying
Literally.
backpacks. I'm feeding
Literally.
people. Right.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You
Yep,
got some,
almost time
Mark?
to wrap up with everything. But I was hearing y'all talk about nonprofits, and the one thing that LaDonna doesn't know is that my mother was the first president of the Golden Leaf Foundation, which is the tobacco settlement money here in North Carolina. And I remember one of the lessons that she taught me, and you kind of alluded to it yonder, is that most people when they get grants from major foundations, whether it's Z. Smith Reynolds or Golden Leaf or the Ford Foundation or a number of other ones, they think that they are going to get those forever. And most of those foundations have you like on a 5 to 6 year plan
Yep.
and all along those lines because they want you to actually get off of the uh, dependence on them and everything like that. Because that's one of the things that mom taught me as she was working for that foundation for a number of years and still lives in the city where the foundation is based, which is Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and everything like that. But definitely, she's been retired for about 10 years or maybe a little bit over 10 years and all along those lines. But definitely, it's just something that I wanted to share that a lot of people don't think about the fact that the foundations, and it doesn't matter who the foundation is, they really want you to get off of that track and everything like that because they feel a lot of people are thinking they're going to get it or they think they're going to go from one grant to the next grant and never get the support from the people. The people is the number one. The way that
Yep.
you got to get that money is from your community, wherever that community is, and all along those lines. So that's what I'm just going to share with y'all because that's something that she's brought to me and everything. So I'm going to turn it back over to y'all to wrap up and everything. I will tell you, LaDonna, that one of the other things that you'll enjoy, and this is a aside, and it's not really
Okay.
part of the questions and everything, but mom also used to have big dogs. Like when she worked at Z. Smith Reynolds, she had a Great Dane, and then my brother tried to give her a one of those mastiff dogs, like one of those big
Oh yeah.
curly dogs and everything like that. And of course, mom's in her 80s. Actually, she's
Woo.
83 this year and everything. So my brother Malik decided to take up on Thursday. So about almost a week ago, this coming Thursday, and everything a Shih Tzu. So her and her Shih Tzu are getting all together because the Shih Tzu is not going to drag her all over the place the way the
Exactly.
big dogs were doing. As a matter of fact, the Shih Tzu is just kind of like laying down by her computer and just chilling,
Yes.
following behind her, and all along those lines. So this is a much
Nice.
softer dog.
Nice. Nice. Wonderful. Thank
Okay,
you.
LaDonna, we got to wrap this up. Okay,
Okay.
plug your book one more time and tell folks how they can get in contact with you.
Thank you so much. So the name of my book is When Cancer Knocks at Your Door. You can get it on Amazon. When Cancer Knocks at Your Door by LaDonna Stanley Thompson. You can get it on Amazon. When Cancer Knocks at Your Door. Please reach out to me on Facebook via Messenger, LaDonna Stanley Thompson.
And
Yonder.
LaDonna, I
Thank
don't
you.
use I don't usually do this, but I feel that you really have something to say. Lead the folks to some encouragement. Someone's going through cancer right now. Someone's hurting right now. Someone just got a diagnosis. Tell them, give them some encouragement that it's going to be okay.
Yes. Mm, it's gonna be okay. Um, I never imagined in my lifetime that I would be dealing with cancer. Um, and so it has knocked on my door. Cancer is a beast. Hands down, it's a beast. But God is stronger than a beast. If you do not have God in your life, I don't know how you can make it and fight that beast because that's the only thing that keeps me going. That's the only way I can fight against all of these things that come with the diagnosis, mentally and physically. I listen to my gospel in the morning to condition my mind to get ready so that I can focus because I'm human. But just know that you can beat it. Even if the beating may mean you're going to sleep, but at least you know you're going to sleep in God. We just had a friend of mine that has been battling cancer, just got a diagnosis that she's only had 4 to 6 months to live. She is the happiest person because what she said is that she's going to be with her father. She's walking around getting her things in order. She said God graced her with this time. to get her things in order, to go and talk to people and make things right. She said God has given her that grace. She said the cancer is inoperable. It is at the stage 4. It has taken over her liver completely. But she is encouraged because she has God and Christ. I look at her and I marvel because I don't know if I'm that strong, but you don't know how strong you are until a test comes. So be encouraged. You can get through it, however that through may end up. It's my encouraging words, Yonder.
Thank you so much, Donna. I send love to you all, the family, the husband, my nephew,
Thank you.
everybody, and thank
And the
you.
saints.
I want to have you guys again. We'll get the date so you can put get some of the folks with you or all the folks with you, and we can do the anthology with all y'all on the
Yeah.
screen and everything. And just more encouragement. We need more shows like this, more uplifting shows, more godly shows, more shows about people. Again, I want to conclude conversations with friends because
Yeah.
Adana is my friend.
Thank you,
Take care.
Yonder.
Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye
Take
bye.
care.